గెలుపే ఊపిరిగా, పట్టుదలే ప్రాణంగా, ఆశయమే గమ్యంగా పోరాడే యోధుడికి విజయం అన్స్టాపబుల్. ప్రశ్నల్లో మరింత ఫైర్, సర్దాల్లో మరింత సెటైర్, మీకోసం మరింత రంజుగా. దెబ్బకి థింకింగ్ మారిపోవాలా? మీకోసం మరింత రంజుగా.
अब तू देख लेगा बच्चन साहब का खेल.
డౌన్లోడ్ ఆహా నౌ.
ఆకర్షణీయమైన చీరలు, అప్పురపరిచే ధరలు, అందరికీ నచ్చిన, అందరూ మెచ్చిన షో మన లక్కీ మహిళ. బోలెడంత ఎక్సైట్మెంట్, వండర్ఫుల్ విన్నింగ్ మూమెంట్స్.
ఎగ్జాక్ట్ చెప్పారు, మీరే గెలుచుకున్నారండి. కంగ్రాచులేషన్స్. $220.
సెలబ్రిటీ హోస్టులు, అదిరిపోయే పంచులు, సరదా సరదా కబుర్లు.
ఆశ దోశ అప్పడం బడ హెల్ప్ మీరు ఆడుతున్నారు.
ఇలా మరెన్నో మెమరబుల్ మూమెంట్స్ తోటి 3rd యానివర్సరీ జరుపుకుంటోంది మన లక్కీ మహిళ. Watch it live only on TV Asia Telugu. మీ అందరికీ 3rd యానివర్సరీ శుభాకాంక్షలు.
గెలుపే ఊపిరిగా, పట్టుదలే ప్రాణంగా, ఆశయమే గమ్యంగా పోరాడే యోధుడికి విజయం అన్స్టాపబుల్. ప్రశ్నల్లో మరింత ఫైర్, సర్దాల్లో మరింత సెటైర్, మీకోసం మరింత రంజుగా. దెబ్బకి థింకింగ్ మారిపోవాలా? మీకోసం మరింత రంజుగా.
अब तू देख लेगा बच्चन साहब का खेल.
డౌన్లోడ్ ఆహా నౌ.
ఆకర్షణీయమైన చీరలు, అప్పురపరిచే ధరలు, అందరికీ నచ్చిన, అందరూ మెచ్చిన షో మన లక్కీ మహిళ. బోలెడంత ఎక్సైట్మెంట్, వండర్ఫుల్ విన్నింగ్ మూమెంట్స్.
ఎగ్జాక్ట్ చెప్పారు, మీరే గెలుచుకున్నారండి. కంగ్రాచులేషన్స్. $220.
సెలబ్రిటీ హోస్టులు, అదిరిపోయే పంచులు, సరదా సరదా కబుర్లు.
ఆశ దోశ అప్పడం బడ హెల్ప్ మీరు ఆడుతున్నారు.
ఇలా మరెన్నో మెమరబుల్ మూమెంట్స్ తోటి 3rd యానివర్సరీ జరుపుకుంటోంది మన లక్కీ మహిళ. Watch it live only on TV Asia Telugu. మీ అందరికీ 3rd anniversary శుభాకాంక్షలు.
Welcome back to yet another fabulous episode of our talk show with experts. Manato unna mana immigration expert Rahul Reddy garu. Rahul garu, thank you so much for being on the show today, Andy.
Thanks for inviting me, Nitya garu.
Thank you, sir. And our program has been supported by movers.com and AHA OTT platform. Watch us on Yup TV, Facebook, YouTube, Sling TV, World BBTV, and Dish Network. All right, new year, new topics. All right, we have to get to the most important topic, which is the recession. You know, something that can shake a nation to its roots. But what is it that we need to do? We as immigrants or potential non-immigrants, people on H-1Bs, L-1Bs, F-1s. Now, Rahul garu, I remember we talked about the unemployment rate being about 3.7% and growing because, you know, we do see companies laying off more and more people. But back in 2009, it was 10+%. And now itself, people are having a hard time facing what's happening and the repercussions of the recession itself. So what do you think that it is that we need to do, people, especially people who are on H1, F1 and L1s, that, you know, they need to do in order to, you know, sort of stay safe or sail through this recession? Because this one seems to be the worst one yet.
This generation of people, especially those who are in early 30s, Nitya garu, have not seen a recession. You know, when they are an adult age, they have not seen a recession because the last recession that occurred was in 2008 and 2009.
Oh yeah.
And in 2020, it dipped a little bit, but then it came back like sprung into action, like a spring action economy came out. We are not economists, but I'm just trying to tell how historically things were. So in general, what the economists tell is that whenever the unemployment rate is below 4%, which is not good for the economy because then the demand for the employees goes up very high. When it is above 4%, 4% is an ideal. So right now we are at 3.7%. So less than ideal, practically speaking about. That means that unemployment is in a very good place. Now, while this is there, we see a lot of layoffs.
Right.
Think of this thing. If it goes to a level of 10%, what it was in 2009, early part or in late part of the 2009. So there will be a massive layoffs, especially in the IT sector. And people will not be hiring OPTs, people will not be hiring H-1Bs because we are the least preferred people though, because it costs a lot of money to hire. Back in 2009, the filing fees was way less. Right now, filing fees for H-1B is in some cases up to $6,000. Just the filing fees is, and they're increasing a little bit more by $1,000 or so. That's a proposal that is coming up right now, which most probably is going to go through. So definitely there will be a very less H-1Bs.
Okay.
In fact, as you know, Nitya garu, when we apply for the H-1Bs, you have to apply in the lotteries, right? Back in olden days, we used to apply in April 1st. The first week they give a time and we have to apply for the H-1B. Now, in 2009 though, the H-1B numbers were not over in 1 week, 10 days, 1 month. They were not over for a while though. And same thing continued in 2010, 2011, 2012 too. So then, of course, later on by about 2013 or 2014, we started finishing in the first 1 week as it was in 2007 and 2008. So definitely there will be a lot of backlash. There's a backlash on immigrants. All of a sudden, immigrants will become villains for the people here in the United States at that point of time. And they will try to push very much hard regulations, restrictions on the H-1Bs. So for the people who are on H-1B and L-1, the suggestion that I will make right now is first thing, our F-1 visa, you guys first need to have a trial run, need to discuss with the family, discuss with the members, discuss with the other people who have faced it. What is going to happen? What if I'm going to lose the job? What if both wife and husband lose the job? What if I'm going to graduate, I'm not going to get the job? So you need to have all these things run through. And I'm going to run through a couple of those things though. For H-1Bs and L-1Bs, the options are they have up to 60 days to stay in United States after they lose the job if their I-94 is still valid, and they have to leave the country. Instead of leaving the country, they have options that if they don't want to leave the country, they can go to B2 visa. That's one thing that they can do. They can also apply for F1 visa. And if you apply for B2 visa or F1 visa, can you change back to the H-1B at a later date without subject to the cap? The answer is yes, you can. If you have not used up the 6 years, you can. Okay. Now, people ask the question that, let's say, for example, I lose the job in January 10th, and I have until March 10th to file for the B2. You file on B2 on March 10th. And let's say, for example, in June of 2023, you get an opportunity for H-1B. Can you transfer from B2 to H-1B? 90% of the time, the answer is no. Okay. The reason is that your B2 is not approved. They will not allow the transfer until the B2 is approved. And B2 will be approved. It takes almost 6 months or even take longer time. And you're only allowed to stay for up to 6 months on B2 anyway. So the possibility of changing to B2 to H-1B is very minimal. So you need to look into the consequences. Same thing from F1 to H1. It will take a long time to get you the F1 approval. Okay. So is it worth for you, or is it worth for you to go back to India and conserve your resources? Right. You may want to look into the finances of you, look into it. How much money do you have? How much expenditure it's going to cost you to stay in the United States? How much expenditure is it's going to cost F1? So you need to calculate those things, have a trial run to see how it's going to work out. So they have to still go outside the country and get the H-1B stamping and come back. These people who are trying to move to B1 to F1, F1 or B1. Now, there's also something called compelling circumstances EAD. That if you have, if you have a home, you need to sell the home. It will take a time. Maybe there is, if you're if your wife is pregnant and you don't want to leave the country right now, your children are in the middle of a school, you don't want to leave the school right now. So you can apply for a compelling circumstances employment authorization. That's only valid for 1 year though. However, you must have an I-140 approval for you to apply for compelling circumstances EAD. Mm-hmm. So that's a catch point.
Does it need to be 180 days also, or just, is there any 180 day?
No 180 days requirement. And a lot of people also ask, does the I-140 has to be with the same company that I recently lost the job? The answer is no. Any I-140 approval, even if it's been withdrawn, you can use that I-140 approval to apply for the compelling circumstances EAD. Now, the same rule is applicable here. In the B1 and F1, at least after the B1 is approved and F1 is approved, you can change the status to H-1B, okay? If after it's been approved, not while it's pending, okay? But in compelling circumstances, once you cross the 60 days, there is no way of changing from compelling circumstances EAD to H-1B. You will have to leave the country and get the stamp and come back.
Okay.
So be prepared for it. For the F student visas, now I know that people are not prepared for it. This is not the right time because 3.7, but I want to give a thing. What are the things though? In 2009, the implementation of the regulations were a different level than the regulations right now. We have the strict service system. And one of the main things is that if you graduate, they will give you the OPT. There's no restriction on giving you the OPT. But you cannot be unemployed for a period of more than 90 days on OPT. Right. The good part about it is that a voluntary employment will be considered to be an employment in the OPT period. You can have only up to 90 days unemployment period. And here is where the trick comes in. When you want to extend the OPT to the STEM extension, you need the company to file to give you the, it must be e-verified company. They must sponsor you. They must give you, I forgot the form number 9. I forgot the form number. They have to fill the form and give it to you so that you can give it to DSO. I'm not good at numbers. So if they don't give it, then if they're not e-verified, you're not eligible for the 2 years extension if you have a STEM degree. So that happens very much though. Now that didn't used to exist in 2009, the STEM extension. It came recently though. So you need to be prepared. What happens if the STEM extension doesn't occur? And also, you may want to plan to graduate it depending on the market. What if it's completely all your previous people who graduated in the last semester, they did not get a job. Do you want to graduate right now? No, it may not be right time. You can't delay the graduation. The reason you should delay the graduation is because you don't want to accrue the unemployment period. Unemployment period of more than 90 days.
Okay.
And people also sometimes they complete their first master's degree. You have an option of not choosing the OPT completely. You can do one more master's degree if you want to.
Right. Okay.
And why do some people do that? Okay. Ask a lot of people though, especially, people who came in early part of 2000, okay, and 2004, 2005. Ask those people. Some of them have done 2 masters. Oh, I've done 2 master's degrees. And we know why they did the 2 master's degrees. They didn't get a job, so they did 2 masters. So here is a crucial point for these people who are young guys who are going to graduate. And if they don't get the job, maybe you should not take the OPT at all. Because OPT will allow you to work, which everybody knows it. I don't have to explain it. But if you don't have a job, what is this allowing is going to do?
That's the point, yeah.
So if you are going to do the double masters though, okay, once you apply for the OPT, you get the OPT. You cannot get one more OPT later on in the same level of degree.
Oh, okay.
So if you do 1 master's and then you get an OPT, then you go to the second master's, you cannot get the OPT. You're not eligible for the OPT unless you do the doctorate degree.
Okay.
So that's the reason why I tell people you may want to look into at what times you want to graduate. So these are the things. It may or may not be valid right now, my statements, but I want you guys to do a trial run to see what is going to happen, to plan, and when the things occur, you are well prepared rather than crying at the time, oh, how did I enter into the situation? I have a job in Microsoft. My wife has a job in Facebook. Oh, well, both of the people are laying off, guys. But anyway, so be prepared. Even if both people have jobs, it's definitely you need to prepare. I didn't cover one thing, though, that if anybody has an option of H4 option, though, okay, that is the best option, hands down. Instead of B1, F1, compelling circumstances, the H4, I don't know about it, but in general, H4 is the most preference thing that you can get.
Okay. Okay. And Rahul Garu, for those who might actually need to, move back to India and then try to come again, what is it that you would like to say to them,
Good question.
People are very scared whether I can ever go back,
Right. Especially for the people who are in H1B,
right.
They can all, if they have not used up the 6 years, let's say, for example, you used up 2 years of H1B and now you want to move back to India. Can you come back without subject to the H1B lottery, which I don't have to explain. You already know what a H1B lottery is if you're already subject to the lottery. No, you don't have to be subject to the lottery until you live. That's 90 years from now.
90 years.
Okay. Yeah, you can come back after 6 months, after 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 80 years, 90 years. After 90 years, I don't give any guarantee for that. Okay? So you can come back in H1B. However, though, when you come back, you can only use 4 years leftover period. Whatever is the leftover period you can use. You cannot do the complete 6 years again unless you have an I-140 approval. Now that 4 years is not for the H1Bs. There is no, if the I-140 is there, there's no limit of 4 years. They can perpetually extend their H1Bs and they can come back after 1 year, 2 years, 10 years. There is a small disadvantage or advantages of going into B2, F1, and also when compared to leaving to India. I will tell the people so that they can evaluate. If you are in United States, though, if you are in B1 and F1, it may be easy for you to deal with the employers because you are in USA. People would like to deal with the people who are in USA. It will become a little bit advantageous for you. Definitely, that is an advantage for you.
That's true.
Now, the disadvantage or an advantage for you to move back to India is, technically speaking about, if you move to India, You can get on the job the next day in India.
Right.
Let's say a US company here wants to do a job and a consulting company want to place you. They can place you and you can start the job the next day without
Exactly.
filing an H-1B, without doing anything.
Right.
Nothing is required. Because you're in India, as an Indian citizen, you can sit down in India and work without any immigration consequences. So you can start H-1B later on after that. So if some requirement comes in and they want the job immediately, you're available, but the B1 and F1 visa people are not available because they have to get the H-1B approval, then they have to go for stamping to India and then come back, which may be 2 months or 3 months delay, while the people in India, they have an advantage because they can get it a job without subject to the H-1B. So these are the advantages or disadvantages. When you make the trial run, when you discuss with your spouse, you need to have all these options left for you. Yeah, obviously you need to look into the economics. If you're going to be here, are you going to, how much money you're going to drain? If you're going to move to India, how the situation will be for you.
Right. Okay, thank you for that, sir. Is there anything else that you'd like to add before we
No,
start
no,
taking
I'm
our
good.
callers?
I'm good.
All right.
I'm good.
On that note, you know, I hope everything works out for everyone and we somehow sail through this recession as well. And let's take our first caller for the day. Come on.
You can go to
Okay,
questions.
caller with number ending in 4944. Sorry, 4944. We're ready for you now. Hello.
Yeah, hi ma'am. Thank
Hi.
you, Nitya garu. Hi, Rahul Reddy garu. I have a question, Andy. My priority date in EB2 is July 2012, Andy. And as you see, the dates are retrogressed, and pretty much EB3 is June 2012. I did file like another 140 in EB3 category last month. Pretty much I
Nice.
filed it in a regular process and not the premium, just to see if the date gets moved forward or not. So is it good to upgrade that to premium for the EB3 or 140, Andy?
I would.
Worst case?
Since your priority date is July of 2022, right now it's not June of 2022. June of 2022 is only the filing date, not the final action date. For you to get the green card, it has to be final action date. I
Correct,
will
correct.
not be spending the $2,500 if I were you. I will hold on.
That's where I did.
I'll hold
So
on.
that's what I did.
But whenever the priority date becomes current, though, the day I'll just contact my lawyer. Here is my money. Please do in premium processing.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
So another question. Yeah, go ahead, Andy, please.
You go ahead.
Yeah. Another question is, we did get our EAD and AP, me and my wife, and we have not yet used them. Still on a non-immigration status. My wife is working
Good for
on
me.
H4 EAD. Yeah, and her EAD is going to expire in April end, I think April first week. So do you suggest her to moving and utilizing her adjustment of status EAD, which we got it, or should we go ahead and still stick with filing the H4 EAD extension and working on the receipt at this moment?
Yeah, you cannot work on the receipt. You need to have the H4 approval, though, to get that. You can do the margarita thing where you can go to
H4 approval. Yeah, she has
Okay.
H4 approval and stamping next year. Basically, it happened because of my employer switch. She has the approval until March 2024.
Yeah, I got you.
H4
Yeah, that's up to you. That's up to you. I'm fine because at my time though, I didn't have the H4 EAD, so I had to use the AOS EAD. You have a luxury of H4 EAD, so it's up to you if you want to use it, and if you still can't make a decision, go with Cointas.
So one last question is, like, if she happens to use that adjustment of status EOD, which is approved in EB2, and if the dates happen to be correct in EB3, and if
you can move to EB3. You can do the interfiling and move her to EB3. Absolutely not a problem.
And she will not have any problem, right? If she
No problem, because she used the EAD. We'll go to the next person, Andy.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you, sir.
Andy.
Thank you so much for calling, Andy. Let's take our next caller. Let's take our next caller, guys. Okay. All right. Caller with number ending in 0683. 0683. We're ready for you. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Good
We can hear
afternoon. I have one. Yeah, one question is like I'm on EB2 I-140 approved in 2020. I'm planning to port it to EB1C because I'm eligible in managerial category. So
Why
any
not?
challenges for porting EB2 to EB1C?
The only thing is whether or not your I-140 will EB1C will be approved or not. With regards to the porting, absolutely not a problem.
Okay.
Okay? Okay, thank you then. We'll go to the next person.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank
Thank you so much for calling. All right. Question
Yeah,
for you.
one thing
Go ahead,
there.
sir.
People
ahead.
can port. It's a law. People can port from EB3 to EB2, EB2 to EB1, and vice versa too.
Right.
It's not something like a discretionary thing where the officers can or cannot do it. They have to do it. That's one thing that's mandatory. Now, one thing they cannot port the date is, can you port from EB1, EB2, or EB3 to EB5?
Oh,
you
no.
can't.
Okay. Got it.
Okay.
Okay. So just the 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
Okay. Got it. Okay. Question for you, Rahul Garu. This is from Ramesses. Says priority date Jan 13th EB2. EAD and advance parole card has been used. Valid from 9/15/2022 to 9/14/24. When entering US on Jan 1st, 23, my immigration stamp says paroled until December 30th, 23. Purpose is DAAOS. What does this date mean?
Well, you can ignore that date though. Even though on the online I-94, when you pull, it says paroled in December 2023. Can you stay beyond that period of time until your EAD expires? And you can, of course, you're going to file the extension of the EAD. Absolutely not a problem. This is the only one time I tell people to ignore the online statement saying that it is expiring because advance parole, you came on advance parole. They don't have a method of doing it for perpetually or when your EAD or advance parole expires, they only give it for 1 year. You can ignore it. You are in legal status after December 2023. You do not have to do anything. Only for this, not for anybody else, guys.
Not for anybody else. Because he has the validity till 9/14/24.
24, that's right. And then I'm 100% sure he's going to apply for the extension. And while the extension is pending, he's good too.
Okay. Got it, sir. Thank you. Let's take our next caller, Andy. All right. Caller number ending in 9386. 9386. We're ready for you now. Hello?
Nitya garu.
Hello,
Hello.
sir. Hello, sir.
Hello. Hi, Nitya garu. Rahul garu. Nenu babuనండి. I have one question అండి.
Sure.
How do you know how many pending 485s are there for rest of the world అండి?
They haven't given us a separate data with regards to the rest of the world though, but they have given the data. I don't have it in front of me. They do have the data with regards to the entire 485 application, but we don't know how much, which country they are. Before Trump was there, they used to segregate which country people like China, India, and the rest of the world. They used to give it separately. They stopped doing. We don't know that. But right now, what the USCIS said is that they have enough 485 applications for Indian nationals to be completed for this year. That is the ending of September 30th of 2023.
Yes, sir. ఆ క్వశ్చన్ ఎందుకు అడిగానంటే సార్ టోటల్ వాళ్ళ రిపోర్ట్ 167 రిపోర్ట్ కనపడిందండి I-140 అప్రూవల్ లాస్ట్ ఇయర్. అవుట్ ఆఫ్ 167 రిపోర్ట్లో 72,000 ఇండియన్స్, 20,000 చైనీస్, 20,000 సౌత్ కొరియా, ఫిలిప్పీన్స్ అండ్ one more country. So out of, if you remove all these things, the rest of the world is around 40,000.
You're not counting the people who are going to file this year. Because the prior date is current for them this year
Yes.
too, is that right?
Right, sir. Right, sir.
So you can't get the
Right.
right estimate with that. You can't get the right estimate based on that. You cannot. Don't try to do it. What is your priority date?
Okay. My priority date is 2015 July 2nd, sir.
If the numbers stand as they are, definitely this year your priority date is not going to become current. Definitely. I'm pretty sure about it. Unless there is some law that changes. We'll go to the next caller, Randy.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. All right. Before we go to our next caller, one question for you, Rahul Garu. This is from Lavender. Says, our 485 application status shows as case remains pending. Our priority date is EB2 July of 2012. Downgraded, got EAD advance parole under EB3. Did TUB in October of 21. Submitted medical RFEs back early September of 22. So what needs to be done?
Nothing.
Why
His
does
priority
the case remains
his
pending?
his priority date is not current. Nothing can be done right now. His date is not current. Either in EB2 or EB3, it's not current.
It's not current. Okay.
Because it's July of 2022, July of 2012. Right now, the final action date is actually, the final action date is for Indians final action date is June 2012. His is July. So there is nothing that can be done for him right now.
Okay. Got it. Got it. Okay. Thank you, sir. Let's take our next caller. Okay, caller with number ending in 7543. 7543. We're ready for you now. Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Hello, sir.
Yeah,
Go ahead, sir.
I'm ready
Yeah.
for that.
Go ahead, please. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, my perm was applied in July 14, 2022, and my max out date is April 6, 2023. Looking at the current trend of perm, right? So if that doesn't come by April 6th, I have to exit the country. But is there a way to expedite this process?
There's no way to
with the
expedite it
local
right now.
congressman or senator?
They won't. The Labor Department does not expedite it. And you can file a lawsuit, but it may be a little bit too late for you to file a lawsuit. But there are some alternative things what you can do though. You said your I-94 is expiring in April of 2023, is that right?
My
Is that right?
I-94, no, my I-797 is getting expired in April 6, 2023. That is right.
Right. So that has an I-94 attached at the bottom of it. So what I would do if I were
Correct.
you
The
is that
I-94 expiring is, it's like 16th of April, but my I-797 is expiring at 6th of April.
Okay, well, whatever it is, April. Okay, April of 2023. You can spend 25 days in Mexico, come back, spend one more 25 days in Mexico, come back. Okay, and you can do that to extend your H-1B, and you know the rule of 6 years H-1Bs, right? The time that you spend outside the country will not be counted. You know that rules, right?
Correct. I can recapture that.
And like that, you can perpetually extend it by spending less time in the United States, more time in Mexico. Why I would say Mexico? Because if you have a valid I-94, you don't need a visa to come back into the United States, though. And let's go with April, not 17th, okay? You may want to do that trick. If that's allowed, if that's okay with you, you should be able to do it. And back in days where COVID was there were some hostels that were created for Indian nationals, though. Why were they created? Because there was a travel restriction coming from directly to India to here. We have to stay 15 days outside the country. And people used to travel to Mexico, stay there 15 days and come here. So you may want to have something which have a chicken tikka masala there for you, made every day with chicken biryani on top of it, and sit there. Don't contact me.
Okay,
Contact your
so
travel
there will not be any issue if I travel to Mexico. Is that through air or by road? Which is the best
Air.
option? If I do it
in this particular
by air?
thing, either air or road is either way it's fine as long as you have a very clear documentation. You left the country and you stayed there in Mexico. We'll go to the next caller, Randy.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much for calling. All right. Before we go to the next caller, Rahul got a question for you. This is from Sai. He says, what are the implications when someone gets laid off before the 180 days are complete for the 485 filing?
Okay, here is the thing, Nitya Garu. If it is after 180 days, the thing is black and white. You can join another company, you're in good shape, no problem with it. If you get laid off within 180 days, it is a gray area.
Ah.
I would want this guy to consult a lawyer. The reason is that I don't want to give up the green card though. I want to fight to the end. But at the same time, the client need to be prepared that this green card may be denied. And he should have an alternative method like maintaining the H-1B or so.
Got it.
So why it's a gray area is the job offer must be continued for a period of 180 days. Okay. What job offer? Is it a temporary job offer or a permanent job offer? Let's say, for example, I'm working for Meta, okay? And I got laid off. Now, they only let me go for a non-immigrant. For the temporary job, they don't have any more temporary jobs. They didn't say that they don't have a permanent jobs. So I can still argue that since they still did not withdraw the I-140 application, which most of the companies don't, I still have the permanent job offer. They didn't withdraw it. I will make an argument on behalf of that guy.
Okay.
But it is a gray area. Are there people who got the green card approval if they got laid off within 180 days? Yes. Are there people who got RFE and got denied afterwards? Yes, there are people. But I will try to argue as much as possible to get in favor, but I may fail. People need to be prepared for it. So this gentleman,
folks, looks like we have a little bit of a technical issue.
గెలుపే ఊపిరిగా పట్టుదలే ప్రాణంగా ఆశయమే గమ్యంగా పోరాడే యోధుడికి విజయం అన్స్టాపబుల్. ప్రశ్నల్లో మరింత ఫైర్, సరదాల్లో మరింత సెటైర్, మీకోసం మరింత రంజుగా. దెబ్బకి థింకింగ్ మారిపోవాలా? మీకోసం మరింత రంజుగా.
by any chance, he should be prepared just in case if the green card gets denied, he should maintain the non-immigrant status.
Got it. Got it. Okay. Thank you, sir. Let's take our next caller. Caller with number ending in 5162. 5162. We're ready for you now. Hello?
Hello, ma'am.
Hello, sir.
Hi.
Hi.
My name is Naresh. I have a question regarding the employment authorization card in compelling circumstances. I was in O1 visa. Company was shut down on December 15th. So I'm on grace period right now. The other company is working on my O1, but we got the RFE on that one. So I'm not sure this is going to be successful or not. In this case, I'm thinking to apply for the employment authorization in compelling circumstances. How this works? Is there any criteria for this one? Is there any problems associated with this?
Do you have a house? Car?
I'm in renting an apartment.
What about a car? Do you have any children going to school?
Yeah, my children is going to school and I have a car.
Okay. The children going to school is a very good thing because people like you and me don't want to leave the country in between the academic year of the school and go there because you will be your children will be na garka na gatka when you move in between the period though. So you definitely should apply for compelling circumstances. You should try for that. Okay.
Okay. So is there any other issues if I get the compelling EAD in the future
No,
for the other visas?
No. There will not be any issues for any other things if you get a compelling circumstances EAD. But let me ask you, do you have an I-140 approval?
Yes, I do have a I-140 approval on the NIW category.
Okay. Yeah, you should go for it.
EB2.
No, you will not have any negative consequences. You can come back at a later date on O1 visa or any other visa you may be eligible for, and you'll be eligible for the green card. This period of time will not be counted as unlawful period of time for you to get the green card. So I don't see any negative consequences for you. Okay, we'll go to the next person.
Okay.
Thank you,
Yeah,
sir. Thank you
you.
so much for calling, Andy. All right. Question, Rahul Garu, for you. This is from It's That Netra. Says, my priority date is 2014 Feb and I have an EAD and advance parole in EB2 and in EB3. If I move to a new employer on a full-time job, do I need to file the 485J for both EB2 and EB3 EADs?
No, I will not file for either of those things. I will just wait until they issue an RFE. I will wait until they call for the interview. Okay. Or I will wait until the final action date becomes current. Whichever becomes current, I'm going to file the 485J supplement. If EB3 becomes current, I'm going to file an EB3. If EB2 becomes current, I'm going to file 485J.
Okay, interesting. Okay.
And this question, whether or not 485J is a mandatory thing to file, it's not a mandatory thing. It's only required when they issue an RFE. It's only required when you go for the interview. Now, when the 485J was not there, though, 485J came in somewhere in 2017.
Right.
Previous to that, there was no official, previous to that, we used to call it AC-21 letter, though, saying that the person have moved the job. So if we don't send those kind of AC-21 letters, so sometimes they used to deny the 485 application, saying that, let's say, for example, this guy is in Microsoft and he left Microsoft, he joined Meta. And now the USCIS finds that this guy is not working for Microsoft. They don't used to look into whether he's working with Meta or not. They used to deny. But we haven't seen that happening since past 3-4 years. We haven't seen that happening. So I am not in a hurry to file a 485J supplement for him.
Okay. Got it. Thank you, sir. Let's take our next caller, Anil. Okay. All right. Caller with number ending in 8933. 8933. We're ready for you now. Hello?
Hello.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Hello,
Yes,
sir.
ma'am.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yes. Hi, Rahul. My name is Bala. I got my green card in December. It's approved, but my priority was in October.
Your priority date is in October. Oh, wait, Bala, we got cut off.
Sir, your voice is getting cut out. Can you repeat that, please?
My card is in December, but my priority date is not current. It's retrogressed on October 1st. So my green card is still valid, or do I have to? My priority date is June 2014.
Okay. I want you to file a Freedom of Information on your AOS application. And then there are certain places where we can look into and determine when your case is actually adjudicated on. Especially on the 485, first page of 485 application, on the top left-hand side, we can see when the case has been adjudicated, when your number has been allocated. So I want you to do that. It's free. It's online. Okay. I want you to note it down, please. Google FOIA USCIS. There is an online form. It takes 20 minutes. Request a file for you. And then I want you to consult a lawyer afterwards. And it may take approximately 5 to 6 weeks for you to get that one. In the interim period, I don't want you to travel anywhere or leave the employment with the current company. Okay.
You suggest not to incur.
I got cut off. Just don't use the green card yet, but wait until the Freedom of Information comes in. We'll go to the next caller, Andy.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for calling. And let's take our next caller. All right. Rahul Garu, this is a new situation. Like I've never heard of such a situation. Once a green card is issued, can they actually go back and say that it's not valid?
There is a chance they can always reopen the green card though. But in most of the circumstances, Nitya Garu, in most of the circumstances, what I've seen in this particular guy kind of thing though, what we noticed is that most probably they have allocated the number by before October itself of 2022.
Okay.
Now all of a sudden we'll get, can my green card be approved right now? No, it only happens 1% of the time. And these 1% of the time, they do contact us as lawyers. They do contact us lawyers. They do contact us. They make a private consultation, contact us. Yeah, no, I mean, very unlikely your green card is going to be approved. Yeah, but for the people who got approved, most of the cases, 99% of them were been already allocated before October of 2020, when the date was correct.
Correct. Okay. All right. Thank you, sir. Let's take our next caller, Andy. Okay. Caller with number ending in 9645. 9645. We're ready for you now. Hello? Hello? That's the first time we have had a baby call into the show. Hello?
U.S. citizens not allowed on this call. Sorry. No, they
we couldn't decode that question. Whatever question the baby had, we could not decode it. All right. Caller with number ending in 0873. 0873. We're ready for you now. Hello? Hello? Please press *6 to unmute your line. *6 to unmute your line. Caller
Hello?
with number
Can you...
0873. Yeah. Hi, ma'am.
Hello. Hi, Andy. Thank you, Rahul Garu and Nitya Garu.
Sure, Andy.
My question is regarding case remains pending, Andy. What does this mean? Like, at the first they said that it's there is no visa number available, and then they said like if your cases are valid.
What is your priority date?
July 2012, Andy.
July 2012, case remains pending means your case is pending. That's it, simple. And there is nothing you can do because your prior date is not current.
But the second paragraph of the case remains pending says that if your case is a valid transfer underlying basis, then we do not. The work has not been stopped on your application or it's not passed. So they both seem like contradictory. So that's what I wanted to get your advice on.
People need to understand this. This question comes very commonly. Case remains pending doesn't mean that they will not working on this case at all. Case remains pending means the case is there pending. They are working on it. That's all. It doesn't say that they're not going to work on it. They will never work on it. They will never issue an EAD on it. They will never issue an advance parole on it. They do issue advance paroles and EADs for cases that are pending. So now, since your priority date is not current though, if case remains pending, calm down. There is nothing you can do, nothing you should do either. Okay? We'll go to the next person, Andy.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for calling, Andy. All right. Rahul got a couple questions for you. One is from Priyank0329. Says, I'm on EAD status. My priority date is Feb 2013. If I lose my current job, in how much time do I need to find a new job in the same field? I completed 180 days with the company starting from the date of filing.
I would request people to have less than 1 week of unemployment though. The reason is that to maintain the green card, the USCIS want to have a continuous job offer. Now, continuous job offer. So there are exceptions they can do. His wife can go to a county, pay $50 to get a DBA. She can employ him. He can do the same thing if his wife is not ready to. He can do the same thing. Go and do it. Or he can find some other company which can give it. There are a lot of exceptions available for it. But if you're not getting the job though, I would strongly, within 1 week, I would recommend to contact lawyer. Now, with regards to the wife giving a job to him, he is self-employed though. Is it legal? Yes, it's legal to have a self-employment. But there are risks associated with it.
Right.
Because the USCIS will look into if there is a genuine job opportunity there or not.
Correct.
And if that position requires, a certain level of skill. So those they may be questioned. I would like this guy to get employment with some other company. If that's not achievable, I don't want to just throw the ball and run out of the soccer field. I still want to fight. Okay.
Yeah.
So at that point of time, I want him to be self-employed. Okay. And then we will see when we have to face a battle about it, we'll face a battle about that one. Because you are under no obligation to inform the USCIS you're self-employed at this point of time. You don't have to file a 485J supplement unless there is an RFE. And by the time the RFE comes in, the interview comes in, maybe you will have another job with a different company. At that point of time, when we submit the 485J supplement, we don't have to submit the 485J supplement from all the ex-employers. We only need to submit the 485J supplement with the current employer. So let's say if I'm getting laid off with Meta company and I'm self-employed for 3 months, then I'm going to get a job with Tesla. Okay.
Right.
So when when there is an RFE or when there is an interview, I only need to submit the 485J supplement with Tesla. I don't need to self-employ supplement with 485J supplement. This is just for a defensive sake that I want to act on. So I don't want people to panic and give up their green cards because they got laid off and they're not getting the jobs.
Right. Yeah, and one other thing is if you think you're going to be laid off in the near future, then it's probably time to proactively start looking for another job anyway.
Right, definitely.
So,
yeah.
All right, thank you, sir. And I have another quick question. This is from Madan Pichuka. Says, my priority date is current and received an RFE for medicals. He got 2 copies for the same receipt number. So he's asking if you should file 2 responses.
No, if the same RFE, the date and everything is same, okay? But they sent 2 in different envelopes, so you do not have to respond to it 2 of them separately. Okay. But if the date is different, let's say one says that January 1st, one says December 20th, I do not want to take chances. I want to respond to both of those things.
Okay. Okay, yeah, because he just says same receipt number, so I don't think it will be the same day.
Yeah. It's the same day is very important because then it's probably the same. And make sure all the content is same. Normally, if it's the same day, they do send it, one to the lawyer, one to the employee. Sometimes they may send both of them to the employee too. We see that.
Got it. Thank you, sir. All right, let's take our next caller. Caller number ending in 6066. 6066, we're ready for you now. Hello.
Hi, Andy. Hi, Nitya Garu. Hi,
ma'am.
Rahul Garu.
Hi.
My question is, I got my green card in August 22,
Nice.
and earlier we had an issue with our I-140 priority date, Andy. It was resolved with the help of Senator. USCIS corrected it. With the soft copy, our lawyer applied for our I-485, but now I got an alert from USCIS stating that mail could not be delivered. It was returned to the USCIS because of post office could not deliver it. So is it something I should be worried about, or I can ignore it?
Wait. So you got the green card in hand. You have it in your pocket. Yes?
Yes, sir, we do.
Okay. Along with the green card, though, they normally also send a 797 approval, though. That says, did you get that one or not?
Yes.
How about your family, too? Everybody got the 797s?
Yes, sir. Everyone got the same. Yes.
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah,
we have.
But the one that says that it's been returned, does it say I-485?
Yes,
does it say on the I-140?
I-140, because we had our priority date printed incorrect on our I-140, and
you can ignore it.
We have sent them.
You can ignore. I got the point, ma'am. You can ignore it. They probably sent it to your old address and they returned back. You can completely ignore it. You're perfectly all right. You don't need to do anything. Open the champagne bottle. If you're not, open it again. Next person, please.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for calling, Andy. All right. question for you, Rahul Garu. This is from RV. Says, is there any difference between I-140 consular processing versus I-140 adjustment of status? Can I change my selection later? Also, will the consular processing allow me to get an H-1B after 6 years and an H-4EAD?
Good question, though. Consular, if you have a consular processing, though, I-140 approval, you can use that for filing the 485, or you can get the green card directly in India. You can do both the things, though. And even though you have a consular processing, you can still extend the H-1Bs, H-4EADs, and all those things, no problem. A very good question this guy asked. You can, even though you did the consular processing, can the H-4EAD be filed? Can the H-4EAD be extended? Can the H-1 be extended? Can the H-1 be perpetually extended? The answer is yes, yes, yes. It's treated very equivalent to if you have picked it as the 485.
Nice.
Now the question comes, he was asking question, can I change it later on? If you are filing an I-140, if you're contemplating even 1% of the time that you are going to get this green card in the consular processing, though, do it in the consular processing.
Okay.
Do it in the consular processing. Because if it's approved, your prior date is current. Can you file the 485? The I-140 said consular processing. Can you file the 485? Or adjustment of status? The answer is yes, you can. Absolutely. Why? Otherwise, if it's an adjustment of status, now you want to do the consular processing, what to do?
Right.
There is something called, you filed something called I-824, and it may take 2 years for that to be processed. So it's going to cost you 2 years extra if you want to move from adjustment of status to the consular processing. But for vice versa, it's 0 days.
Okay. Wow. Okay. That's pretty cool. All right. Let's take our next caller. Thank you, Rahul Garu. Let's take our next caller, folks. Okay, caller with number ending in 7525. 7525. We're ready for you now. Hello?
Yes.
Hello, sir. So *6 and it unmute your line.
I think so, you muted.
Yeah, *6 to unmute your line.
You can hear
Hello?
me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you now. Please
You can
go
hear
ahead.
me?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, thank you, Nitya Garu and Rahul Garu. Since 2 months, I'm trying to catch you. Okay. Good news thing that I got my GC in August 22, that I'm following the Rahul Garu suggestions, and luckily my Senate helped me to process and I got it. But
Okay.
recently I got another RFE on my medical. Okay. So I will explain my case. 2020, I downgraded to EB3, and then I got EAD and I got RFE in Jan 2022. When I got Jan 22 RFE, I responded back with medical. And then after that March, I moved to EB2 as EB2. I moved from EB3 to EB2 again.
But did you did you refiled in March of 2022? Did you refile in EB2?
No, interfile. I done interfile to California test.
So on the same file number that you got the green card approval, now you got the medical RFE on the same green card approval.
That's what. So I got a letter on December 20th mentioning that there is an RFE with date Jan 4, 2022. Like that means the January 2022, the RFE what I got, December 20th what I got is the same content. There is no change. But this letter came like 2 weeks back.
What is the date of the letter?
Date of letter tells the Jan 4th, 2022.
Well, that's how efficient government system works, USPS works. Okay, you can ignore that.
Yes, sir. I think so.
You scared me because you scared me by saying that December. You need to tell me the date of the letter, please. Look into it. Don't tell me when it's been delivered. You know how the USPS works. Well, next person, please.
The date I saw is the same date.
Thank you
Ignore
very
it.
much, sir, for your support. All the
You're
Telugu
good. You're
people
good.
and artists.
I
Thank
got,
you, sir.
yeah, I got really scared. Why did you get an RFE after you got the green card? Now you're telling me the date of the letter is January 4th of 2022. They delivered in January 4th of 2023. Thank you, USPS. Next person.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
sir. Thank you so much for calling, Andy. All right.
But by the way, who uses USPS? Only the government uses USPS. Do you ever use the mail things in USPS anymore? No, it's FedEx, everything, and UPS.
Yes.
That's good, sir. So some of the people mentioned that, oh, better you send a mail to
No,
back
you're
to
good.
USCIS.
You
But
confirm me the date. You confirm me the date is same. So you're good. Next person will go.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for calling. Okay. Question for you, Rahul, before we take our next caller. This is from Hussein. Says, I have an H1 extension until 2025. And after extension, I use the advance parole to enter the country. I have my GC interview this month. I have not used my EAD. If the officer asks, what is your current status in the interview? What should be my
H1B.
response?
H1B.
H1B. Okay.
H1B. A person
So,
by using the advance parole, even though the I-94 says that, they are still considered to be an H1B here in the United States until 2025.
Oh, okay. So only after that, he's considered to be on EAD then,
If he doesn't extend it.
if he doesn't extend it. Oh, interesting. Yeah.
I know. The rule of interpretation back in the 2007 time, that category that you belong to is a little bit different.
No, and it's amazing, Andy, how much you learn from each question.
Yeah.
I was just like, going wow for that mainly. All right. So another question for you. This is from Vishwanath Madhukuri. Says, after I-140 approval in EB2, if we apply or port to EB1C, and if the EB1C I-140 is denied or rejected, is the EB2 I-140 still active? Considered
Still active. Absolutely active. The priority date is active. If you fail EB1C, it's perfectly fine. Your EB2 is not going anywhere.
Got it. All right. Let's take our next caller. Thank you, sir. Okay. Caller with number ending in 4732. We're ready for you now. Hello? Hello? Caller with number ending in 4732.
Hello?
Hello, sir?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yes.
Sir, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
Oh, sure. Thanks for helping the community. I had a quick question. So I got my green card last year in August, but my wife and son did not. So currently my wife is traveling out of the country on EAD, on the advanced parole. So we did get a communication. We just got a letter from the USCIS that she may be eligible for the green card, but because she's traveling, we will keep it on hold until she is back. And when she is back, you have to resubmit like the stamping of advance parole coming into the country, and then the letter that they sent as well. Only then they will resume the processing, I believe, on the green card. So just anything that we should be, I guess we cannot do much until she comes back.
I'm very surprised, though. I would give you a free consultation for you. Send an email to me at rahul@rnlawgroup.com. I want to see that letter. I've never seen that. Okay,
sure.
And make sure you put your phone number. I'll call you back, okay? Because I want to look at it. If something new, very odd that ever comes in, I want to take a look at it.
Sure. I will definitely do that. Can you confirm your email, please, again?
Rahul, RAHUL @RN, R for Robert, N for Nancy, LAWGROUP.com. Make sure you put your phone number there so that I can call you back. Okay? Okay then.
Sounds good, Rahul. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for calling. All right. Question for you, Rahul.
Nitya Garu, yes. Normally in situations like this, they normally give the green card even if the person has traveled outside the country. And people ask me the question, can she actually travel in advance parole after she gets a green card? Yes, she can. They allow it to travel on advance parole even after she gets a green card. So I'm a bit confused why this officer is so confused. It may be that some local officer, not the service center officer, got confused about it and might have issued a letter, which is very odd. But I still want to see that letter. But go ahead.
So, Rahul, can you tell me what a scenario as to why someone who has a green card would still travel on an advance parole?
Because she did not get it in the hand.
Oh,
she's outside the country.
Got it.
She's outside the country, yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay. All right. Question for you, Rahul Garu. This is from Anand T. Says employer A, H1, H4, H4 EAD approval, 11 Feb 23 till Feb 26. Changed job, employer B, same thing, approved 5th of Jan 23 till 26. Future H1 withdrawn by employer A. Do I need to withdraw H4 and H4 EAD based on employer A's H1?
Why would he withdraw it? No, the H4 and EAD are still valid for your wife. Even though, so he got H1B, H4 and EAD with company A. He moved to company B. Company B has the H1B approval. His wife can still use the H4 and EAD with the previous company because the H4 is given to your wife as long as you maintain the H1B, the H4 is valid. And the EAD is valid too. It's not withdrawn. H4 and EAD cannot be withdrawn by employer. He does not have an authority. Only your wife can do it.
Got it. Okay, interesting. All right. So another quick question. This is from Vinod. It says, I'm on an EAD and have the 485 pending for more than 180 days. Priority is in 2014. Priority date is 2014. I got a full-time offer from a client. Is it recommended to accept it as I'm hearing about the recession this year?
It's more than 180 days. So I don't know what he meant by recession, joining a full-time company. I cannot tell whether the previous company is better or full-time company is better.
Client is better. Okay.
Yeah, that it's very hard for me to judge though. Typically, people say that full-time companies normally don't lay off that easily as much as the consulting companies are, but I may be wrong in it. I'm not good in it. So think which job is going to remain for you in the long term. That's what you need to think, which it's very hard for me to judge.
Got it. Also, you know, he would probably have like multiple factors to consider, like, you know, the insurance and the benefits and, you know, longevity of the company and stuff like that. So it's a personal choice rather than, but technically he can move if he wants to, right?
Absolutely.
He should not have a problem. Okay. So that's our extent of the answer, dude.
Yeah.
All right. Okay,
some of these things some of these questions you need to go to the spouse and ask the question and let them answer it. Whenever you are a hard time figuring it out and when the lawyers are telling it's up to you to pick it up, go to your wife or your spouse and let them do it. And if something goes wrong, you know whom to blame.
No, but see, that's the irony of life, right? It's like you never know what can happen at any given point in time. You know, you can only guess and have guesstimates, but really, you know, who knew, like, you know, Microsoft or, you know, Facebook would be laying off people by the tens of thousands, right? So it's just all luck and fate at times. All right. Caller with number ending in 5566. 5566. We're ready for you now. Hello.
Hi, Nitya. Hi, Rahul.
Hello, sir.
This is Ashok. I have a question. Like, let's say if you have completed your 6 years and can you go India? Like, let's say you are laid off, and then can you go back to India and then later come? Like when your 6 years are already used, you already have I-140 and you're already working on extension of I-140?
Absolutely, yes. You can. You said I-140 is approved. That is the word I was hearing. 6 years is complete. Is I-140 approved? I-140? I-140 is approved. You use 6 years. You can go to India. You do not have to wait for 1 year. You do not have to wait. You can come within 6 months, within 6 years, within 60 years, within 90 years. Not more than 90 years because I don't expect you to live that long. Okay, that's all it is. You can. You don't need to go through the lottery system for the next 90 years.
Okay. And let's say like, so for that case, like my existing employer will file a like a H1 or like a stamping or anything like that, or like
it can be existing company. It can be any company, not the existing company. It doesn't have to be the same company that got you the I-140 approval. It can be any company. It can be Microsoft, Apple, Google, Tesla, whatever not, consulting company, whatever not. Deloitte. Do I need to name all the companies? No, I won't. Okay. So any company can file a H-1B and you can come in. Doesn't have to be the company that you're working. Doesn't have to be the company that got you the I-140 approval. It can be any company. You do not need to go through the lottery system for the next 90 years.
Okay. And one just to follow up one question more. So in that case, the new employer, does he has to first get my I-140 approved, or he can directly go and file a H1? Okay.
Direct H-1B. He doesn't need to file PERM. It doesn't need to file I-140. Direct H-1B. You go for stamping. You come in. You're good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for calling, Andy. All right, folks.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, sir. I know we have a lot more questions coming in, and plus a lot more people in the waiting room as well, waiting to talk to Rahul Garu. But unfortunately, as always, we somehow seem to run out of time really quick. They always say good things always, pass by really quickly. So Rahul Garu, thank you so much for being on the show, Andy, and for patiently answering everybody's questions.
Thank you.
And I really hope to all our viewers that, we just get through this recession, sort of fail-proof and come out victorious on the other side. And on behalf of TV Asia Telugu, we will see you same time, same place next week. Until then, have a great week, and we will see you next Sunday. Thanks, and have a great week. Bye.
Thank you very much, Nitya.
Thank you, sir.
గెలుపే ఊపిరిగా, పట్టుదలే ప్రాణంగా, ఆశయమే గమ్యంగా పోరాడే యోధుడికి విజయం అన్స్టాపబుల్. ప్రశ్నల్లో మరింత ఫైర్, సర్దాల్లో మరింత సెటైర్, మీకోసం మరింత రంజుగా. దెబ్బకి థింకింగ్ మారిపోవాలా? మీకోసం మరింత రంజుగా.
अब तू देख लेगा बच्चन साहब का खेल.
Download AHA now.
ఆకర్షణీయమైన చీరలు, అప్పురపరిచే ధరలు, అందరికీ నచ్చిన, అందరూ మెచ్చిన షో మన లక్కీ మహిళ. బోలెడంత ఎక్సైట్మెంట్, వండర్ఫుల్ విన్నింగ్ మూమెంట్స్.
ఎగ్జాక్ట్ చెప్పారు. మీరే గెలుచుకున్నారండి. కంగ్రాచులేషన్స్. $220.
సెలబ్రిటీ గోస్ట్లు, అదిరిపోయే పంచులు, సరదా